Gentlemen, please give an equally warm welcome to his opponent this evening. Fighting out of the white corner and representing the Minotaur Gym, Salah Khalifa.
It's Salah, also known as the Beast. I train and fight out of Minotaur Gym. I've been in the Muay Thai game for about 15, 16 years now, and I've represented the UK all over the world.
Early stages, how did you get into Muay Thai?
Yeah, so how did I get into Muay Thai? It's a pretty good story. You know, raised in London, it's a hard city to grow up in. I used to fight a lot on the streets. I was still finding out who I was. I went to school, you know, faced a lot of adversity, a lot of racism. Everyone, you know, back then it's, you know, a lot of gun crime, knife crime, and I was just getting into a lot of trouble. And there wasn't that much for me to do apart from go to school, come home. I'm the eldest of my family, so I used to just kind of try and figure out who I was. And fighting did that for me. You know, it gave me an adrenaline rush. It was just a buzz, you know. And I'd always come home either beaten up or the police would come and ask for me, and, you know, gave my parents a lot of grief. Unfortunately, there wasn't that many youth clubs. You know, I got kicked out of school a couple of times. It was just a hard time trying to find out who I was. Fortunately, you know, my dad was like, listen, man, let's go to a Muay Thai gym, see how it is. If you like fighting, you think you're good, let's see. Went to the gym and they were like, yeah, nah, you're too young. I think this was at like 13 or 14. They were like, nah, you're too young. And my dad was like, listen, man, like, you know, he's going to end up getting stabbed or into like, I need him. And the guy was like, come back. So we came back, and then my dad was like, listen, man, I don't care what it takes, just, oh, they're adults and you'll be, and they said, nah. So he paid like, I think it was like 3 months in advance and just put me into the gym, and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me, you know? Because I walked into this gym and I just see a bunch of geezers and girls that looked like average. They just looked like nothing, kicking the pads and making all these noises. I'm like, wow, like on the street, if I saw you, I'd be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like I could beat him up or
you like martial arts.
Yeah, it's like so deceiving.
People like
never judge a book by its cover. Got in there and I went straight into the ring, got beaten up like, you know, so many times, and I was like, wow, man, I've got a lot to do. Because remember, I've come from a different world where it's whoever hits first wins, you know what I mean? Or, you know, it's just a whole different world. Yeah, like a jungle, bro. And it just, you know, opened my eyes, and I was like, wow, like I could pick on the wrong guy or the wrong, it just opened my eyes up and it humbled me, crazy. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get good at this. Had my fight after, I think it was like a month's training. And I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I'm gonna do. And my dad was like, yo, man, you can get paid to fight. I was like, what? Someone paid me to fight? Yeah. Chris Knowles, Paul Taylor, they were like, yo, man, you could be really good at this. Had my first fight after a month, and I just, you know, I'm going to be the best at this.
So talk to me about your first fight. How did you feel?
First fight was a sticky one, man. It was hard. Like I loved the adrenaline, I loved the buzz, so I wasn't nervous in that sense. I just wanted to go in there and do it. But then a lot of these feelings were new, like, you know, like butterflies, and you know, my legs are feeling numb. It's completely different because you're in there by yourself. You know, outside it's different. You're with your boys or you're with your team or whatever. So it was hard. It was very hard. But then you have to be, you know, mentally focused because you go in there too fast. You know, you're not fit enough, whatever. And unfortunately, though, after my first fight, I had a really bad injury, hurt my shoulder, and it was like it all came crashing down, man. So all this training, I put all my dreams, aspirations into this fight game, and I said, you know what, I'm going to be the best. And then after my first fight, dislocate my shoulder, gets injured like pretty badly, and the doctor goes, yeah, you might never be able to fight again. You know, you're going to keep having this injury. You can't punch properly. You can't fight. I said, nah, man. So I've gone from, like, you know, trying to fix my life to it crashing down. I think, you know what? I said, I'm just going to go back to the streets and the life that I knew. And my dad's like, nah, you get it. Got an operation done, focused on rehabbing it. And I think it was like a year later or something, got my first title. And it was like, yo, man, I can do it. It was such a hard time, but that's what made me, that's what created me into who I am now.
How did that affect you mentally?
But it was tough, man. It was tough. But I'm very, very grateful for it, because if it didn't happen then, you know, I would not be the fighter that I am now. You know, remember, adversity creates, you know, your character, and it helps you become the person that you want to be. You know what I mean? It helps create this character in you, this never give up, this beast mode, this, you know, keep going no matter what life throws at you, keep pushing. So not only did it help me mentally, but it helped me physically, because I had to do my rehab. It helped me with my faith. You know, I was very close to God, kept everything up, you know, just focused, because I had like somewhere that I wanted to be. And everything I did was to help. If I was eating, it was because I needed to get stronger. If I was training, it was because I needed, remember, because you always want what you can't have. And all of a sudden, someone told me, no, you can't fight, you can't compete now, you've got to do something else. So it was great. It was great for me, and I'm very thankful for it. It was probably one of the hardest times, but I'm very, very thankful for it. And that's where it all started. You know, that's where everything kind of started. And now, you know, fast forward 15 years later, no problems, very, very like strong physically, mentally, and, you know, can take on anything because I know I've been there before, you know?
So when you had like your first fight, or like any fight right now, how do you deal with like pre-fight nerves?
Pre-fight nerves is crazy, man. Like, I feel like to be a fighter, you have to have a screw loose. Like, no one chooses to do fighting just for fun. Like, do you know what I mean? You have to be a little bit, because, bro, like, if you want to make money, fighting ain't the one. Do you know what I mean? If you want to look good, fighting ain't the one, because it's just so difficult. But at the same time, if you want to become a better person, if you want to become more disciplined, if you want to help within the community, if you want to do all of these things, fighting is the one, because we all fight. Everyone's a fighter. You know what I mean? But we just fight for different things. Fight for your family, fight for your work, fight for, do you know what I mean? So dealing with it, I think, is just looking at the end goal, but not focusing on that, and having like small targets and goals on the way. So for me, it was, I want to fight straight away, get better. Then I want to go to Thailand. From Thailand, I will learn some more techniques, get a bit more fights, then get this title, get that title, get this, and then work my way through the rankings. You know, like, I remember straight away, like, I was ranked number 4 at one point. You know, now, currently, I'm ranked number 3, going for the number 1 spot. Like, you just have to have these small mini goals that you have to aim towards. And then, like, when it comes to just fight, it's just like focusing. Remember, like, I will never step in the ring unless I know 100% I can do this. And that helps me, and that calms me down. I remember people used to say, like, why are you so calm? How are you so calm? How are you...
Yeah, I saw your last fight. You look very...
Just chilled. You have to be, though. Because if experience teaches you anything, it's going to teach you that rushing and harder is not always better. Less is more sometimes, you know? So I feel like having faith, being confident, and knowing that it will work out regardless. And if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the story.
Nice. From your entire career, which fight is your favourite and why?
I get asked that a lot, man. I really don't know. Like, it just depends on how, because remember, these fights impact your life very differently. Like, one of my earliest fights, just when I met my wife, that has very, you know, sentimental value, because I just met my wife and I had a lot to prove, and, you know, and some other fights, it was like, I remember when I fought Yodson Clyde in Las Vegas, like, that was amazing. The fight didn't end the way I wanted it to end, but I was young, I was hungry, and it was just such an amazing experience, because he's the reason I started Muay Thai, watching The Contender.
So getting in the ring with your idol.
Yeah, bro.
Crazy.
And he was the reason I started Muay Thai. So then to get in the ring with him, I was like, wow, in Las Vegas, like the fight capital of the world, I was buzzing. And then, yeah, proper, like, it's inspirational. Like, even me, like, it's still now, like, and, you know, there's so much more to do. So, and more than anything, it's just like, but then after that, I fought in Yokkao, won like 30 seconds knockout. Like, it's just like, remember, everything, there's a reason, and timing is everything. Like, you might lose, it's not a loss, it's a lesson. Do you know what I mean? Just keep working. And I remember when I fought Ekozan, like, he's a big Thai name on Thai fight. That was one of my favorite fights. Beating him was like crazy, because everyone in Thailand was talking about it, and it's, you know, just foreigners, guy from England beat Ekozan, he's crazy, and, you know, that was a really big fight. There's just so many, they all impact you differently. It just depends, you know, how you look at it.
Yeah. So going back to when you said losses and lessons.
Yeah.
Talk to me about a time when you won a fight, and talk to me about a time you lost a fight. What was the biggest lessons you learned from both winning and losing? Losing,
yeah, that's a great question. So the biggest thing I think that I've learned from winning is it's definitely to have faith and confidence in my corner and in my team. Because remember, when you go into the ring, it's you against him, yeah? But it's also you against yourself. So you believe you know best, and you believe that you can go in there and what you do is going to work. The more experience you have, you realize that from the outside, they can see things better than you can. So the minute I learned to listen to my corner, to my team, and have faith in them, I got so much better, so much quicker. Because it's like, actually, I don't know best. I might think I know best, but what I think I can do might not work, because from the outside, and my team, you know, Lewis, Chris, my wife, all of these people, my dad, from the outside, they can see things a bit better. So when I listened to my corner, when I had faith in them, it definitely I made massive improvements. So I feel like that's what I would have learned from winning. You know, the fact that you can have faith in other people, the fact that, you know, listening does help and it makes a difference. From losing, you definitely learn more from losing, but it's hard because it's so painful. It's so, you know, you break your heart, and, you know, all this weeks and weeks of training and you don't get the result, but actually it can be done. You know, no problem, I will get better. And I should have done this, and I should have done that, and I should have listened. And, you know, it's not the end of the world. You know, time heals everything. So you think, you know what, I'm going to do better. And you're more motivated. You will train harder. After winning, you don't train too hard. You think you're cool, you've done it, you know. But after a loss, you train a lot harder, man. Definitely train a lot harder. And you're more eager to learn, because there's so much more that you can learn that you should have done. I feel like that's the difference that you learn from, you know, winning and losing.
What is the most important thing you've learned in Thai boxing that you apply in your everyday life?
The most important thing that I've learned from Thai boxing that I apply to my everyday life, I would say, would be adaptability. Definitely adaptability, because I've never had two fights the same, and every time in the ring I've had to change something. I feel like this is the perfect way to kick, but against this person it might not work, so I have to change it a little bit. You have to be able to adapt, to change, to better, to improve, you know, evolution. And in everyday life, that's how it works. Sometimes you can't take that route, you have to go another way. You know, sometimes you have to change your style, you have to change the way you think, you have to change your training. You know what I mean? Like, we don't train for every opponent the same, it's different. Never try and go, I try not to have 2 rounds the same. Sometimes work on my jab, sometimes work on this, sometimes my head movement, sometimes punch like a boxer, sometimes kick like a, do you know what I mean? So it's like adaptability. The best fighters are adaptable. They can change there and then, instantly. Something's not working. How many times, bro, I've had fights here, I've thrown my first or second kick, broke my leg or broke my foot, can't kick no more. My whole game plan was my right kick, for example. Have to change that now. If you don't, you're gonna lose.
It's like when unexpected problems come in life, same in the ring.
Same thing. Something, you're always going to have problems, you're always going to have issues, you have to be able to adapt, you have to be able to change, you have to be able to figure it out without, you know, oh, I can't do it, oh, I'll give it up. Nah. That's my thing, adaptability for sure.
Nice. What do you enjoy most about training in Thailand?
So training in Thailand is beautiful. It's, you know, where Muay Thai originated. Good food, good people. The techniques out there are just different, because remember, they start very young, man. They start fighting from like 8 years old. So I love it out there that, you know, again, less is more. They focus on the technique rather than hard, fast. You know, us Westerners, we're, you know, more about harder is better, whereas out there it's not. Experience is everything. And it's more about, you know, technical, scoring points, being clever, being smart. And that's what I love about Thailand, man. They're very disciplined, eat healthy, eat clean, and Muay Thai is part of their life, it's part of their culture. And that's what I love about out there.
I know you're a family man, kids, you're a coach as well, training, fighting full time, you're a firefighter. How do you balance everything?
Yeah, man, balance is key. The same way in Muay Thai, you have to have good balance. You have to try and balance your life. It's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. Being a firefighter full time, coach, father, you know, it does take a toll on you, but Muay Thai is part of my life. It's the reason why I am who I am now. And I try and get everyone around me involved in it. All my friends, try and bring them along to training. My kids, my 2 daughters, bring them along. Met my wife in the gym, bring her along. She now competes, my first ever student. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a big part of my life, my style. And that's how I find I can balance everything. Just, you know, My daughters, they come watch me train. Sometimes they come to my fights. My wife's here. If she's not training, I'm supporting her. If I'm, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of them things. It's really a big part. Like, my dad, he's here now watching. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a big part of my life. And I feel like that's the difference. And that is what takes you from average to being elite or to being a champion, because it's part of your everyday life. You know, a lot of people, they just train for a fight, train to lose X amount of weight, train. That's not, I mean, I train because it makes me better, it makes me a better person, it brings my family closer, it just, you know, it allows me to help support my family, my community, all of these things. So I feel like that's the best way to balance it, you know? It's not a chore, oh, I've got to go train, oh, I've got to, no, everyone's involved. You know what I mean? It's good for everyone. So, and that's the great thing about Muay Thai, you know? It focuses a lot on being a family. If you go back to Thailand, that's how it is. They all eat in the gym together, they all train in the gym together, you got the dogs, the cat, you know what I mean, the kids, everyone's there, and that's how it is. You know, but because we live in such a fast-paced life in the UK and London, it's hard to do that. But I'm trying, that's, you know, hopefully what I focus on doing. You know, and that being said, like, I have, for the first time ever in my life and career, I've taken a year out from work, a year out from everything to just focus on Muay Thai. That's what I'm doing now, that's it. Like, I've managed to come so far in my career by doing it part-time, balancing work, bills, family, kids, everything. Now is the first time that I'm just going to focus on Muay Thai. I'm going to come for #1 in the UK, I'm going to come for #1 in the world and see how far I can take it, man.
Taking that leap of faith.
That's it, yeah, that's it, leap of faith. That's it.
Talk about a time in a fight where you entered a dark place mentally. How did you climb out?
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Like I said to you previously, like, fighters and athletes, your best weapon is your mind. And unfortunately, that can go quite dark because, you know, you might lose or life might be getting in the way. But for me, Muay Thai helps me and is my happy place, because in the Muay Thai gym or in the ring, everyone is the same. Doesn't matter what car you drive, how much money you have, what clothes you wear, everyone is the same. Everyone walks in, you know, have the same amount of weapons, and it's just how you use them. And that is a great way, you know, to even out the battlefield. Because unfortunately in life, you know, money, cars, all of that can make you know, it can help you. But in the Muay Thai gym, it's all about what you put in. You put in the time, the training, the effort, you're going to be better. So I feel like, you know, whenever I'm in a dark place, whenever I'm struggling, whenever things are getting hard, come to the gym, because we're all the same in the gym. Don't matter what problems you have, what any issue, everyone is the same here, and everyone is here for one reason, and that is to get better. So I feel like, for me, movement, Muay Thai, that is what gets me out of this dark place. No matter how bad I'm struggling, come to the gym, see people, you've got the banter, you've got the jokes, train hard, and that's what helps me, man. So just make sure you move, try and, you know, get around, talk to people. And also, like, don't forget, men aren't as open about their feelings about mental health as, you know, females or women. So, like, I'm a big advocate and encourage you, like, talk about it, speak up about it. Don't matter, because people remember it. Even with me, like, you have certain expectations. Oh, you're a champion. Are you this? Are you that? You know, you shouldn't be. Nah, man. Everyone feels these feelings. It's how, yeah, everyone's human. It's how you overcome this adversity. It's how you overcome, you know, feeling like that. What changes you make and do. And for me, movement is key, man. You got to move around, walk, go for a walk, talk to someone. You know what I mean? Come to the gym. And then it will just, you know, you'll feel better in your skin, you feel better in you know, and you just keep moving.
I remember seeing your post about when you started Muay Thai at 15 years old. How important do you think it is for kids to do some sort of combat sport?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I started at 15. It saved my life, got me out of a lot of trouble. It brought me closer to my family, to my father. I met my wife in the gym. Like, it's very, very important. It's vital. I feel like every kid should do it. Every kid, boy, girl, anyone, they should all start some sort of martial arts, whether it be boxing, whether it be kickboxing, Thai boxing, anything. They need to start something because, one, it makes you fitter, it makes you stronger. Okay, and two, it gives you mental resilience. Like, you are now able to use your body in a different way. And that is very empowering, yeah? Especially the way the world's going. London's very dangerous now, you know? My girls, both of them, train Muay Thai. so they can look after themselves. My wife, I know, like, if she comes home late at night, she can look after herself. So I feel like it's very important. Unfortunately, the system is broken, you know. All the youth clubs are, you know, unavailable for our kids, for our communities. So I feel like the gym is the one. It's the way. It's the place to be, man. Because, you know, you're learning to kind of respect someone else. You're learning to respect, you know, the other kids in the class, your coach. And I definitely think that every kid should do some sort of martial art, some sort of sport, for sure. It will change your life, but also it could, like, save it.